seems to be a running theme. I had a video about feminism that I just made, and it didn't upload. Oops. So, I'm just gonna let that one go and talk about something else for now. This is gonna be my final video of the night because it's 1:19 in the morning and it's quiet hours, and I shouldn't really be up this late because I have class tomorrow. Yay! So what am I going to talk about? I think I'm going to talk about a little bit about religion and why, like, how I'm a Catholic feminist. This is a question that I get all the time on my blog, or in the more common form is, you can't do that. And I'm just like, I did. Well, I know theologically, with Catholicism, we are taught that men and women are equal. Equal rights, equal dignity. Women and men can be equally good theologians. As I lose my hedgehog. Like, anything that is not gender specific, anyone can do. Like, a man and a woman can equally read at mass. We can Eucharistic minister, which means we can give out communion. We can't consecrate because that's something only a priest can do, and being a priest is gender specific. The way that being a nun is gender specific. It's not a form of discrimination. It's just something special that each gender has. It's special. It's not meant to be discriminatory at all. And again, Catholic feminism, I don't think it is discriminatory. I think it's beautiful. But it's like in the family, for example, we don't say the man has to be the breadwinner and the woman has to stay at home. Like, that's not true. Either parent or both parents can work or stay home if you're, like, independently wealthy and have that luxury. That'd be really cool, but it's not how most families are. So, again, it's equal rights and equal dignity. I can words. I can speak, I promise. 1:20 in the morning. Yeah. Like, in my family, my dad was out of work for a little bit, and he was a stay-at-home parent, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't considered bad theologically, which I think a lot of people get hung up on that when they examine scripture. For example, when, you know, in scripture it says, you shall not suffer a woman to teach, and people like to take scripture out of context and then say this is what Christians believe and then blame it on us when they're the ones who took it out of context. And it's like, no, I don't even know what you're talking about. Please, like, listen to us. Listen to what we actually teach. You know, if I went to a Jewish synagogue and said, golly gee, your teachings on ABC issue are, you know, such and such, and they were like, no, that's not true. And I was like, yes it is, that's how I interpreted it. I'm clearly in the wrong there, because it's not what they're actually teaching. And if I want to learn what Jewish people actually believe, I should listen to actual Jewish people. Right? I mean, is that not logical? So if you want to actually learn about Catholicism, it's really sad, but sometimes you can't even trust actual Catholics to teach you. It's really sad. I mean, when I was in high school, I went to Catholic high school. I go to a Catholic college now. I'm so glad all my professors here have been good about teaching classes, but when I was in high school, I had one teacher who almost made me want to stop being Catholic because she didn't know how to reach out to people of other faiths, and no faith at all, because that is a reality. There's some people that just don't believe in God, and for whatever reason. And you know, that's not something that we should ever hate people for, is being different, ever. And when you're Catholic, you're taught that, but a lot of people don't know, I guess. I don't know. A lot of people really don't know what we believe, because CCD, like, you know, Catholic education for children isn't really as good as it needs to be. And that's one of the reasons why I became a theology major. Was when I was younger and I was, you know, taking CCD classes, I ended up homeschooling myself from when I was 12 all the way up to 10th grade when I was confirmed. And I learned a lot because I actually had to learn it because my mother made me sit down and actually do the work. I know that when I did actual classes, don't mind me, I'm just taking my boots off. When I did the actual classes, I didn't learn as much because I was more caught up, because I was the weird one for wanting to learn. And it makes me sad because people would just waste their time, didn't care. It's like, but another thing is, be authentic. Like, if you don't want to be there, then please don't be there. if you want to be there, then you're more than welcome. Anyone's more than welcome. You can come learn about Catholicism if you're not Catholic. I mean, I love people. Just if you have questions about it, ask someone. You might actually know the answer. Um, so when I talk about Catholic teaching, I refer to the Catechism of the Catholic Church. But I mentioned this earlier, Catholicism for Dummies, because condescending title aside, I mean, it's just fantastic the way it's written. It's so easy to understand. I mean, even 3 years into studying theology, I don't even understand everything. This book makes it so much easier. It's so much simpler. It's just great. It's like, I get it now. Great. Like, controversial teachings everywhere in Catholicism, like why we're against the HHS mandate. I don't want to open a can of worms. Wherever you stand on that issue, you stand there and you stand proud, but let's not have arguments. Why do Catholics believe what we believe on that? Well, we have history, and when I started examining what I actually believed as a Catholic person, I had to reconcile a lot of these teachings for myself, particularly in sexuality. That one's really difficult. Still difficult for me to understand completely and to, really wrap my head around and to understand why and how it really fits in. Like, intellectually I can get it, but, like, personally and, like, applying it to my daily life and actually living it out is really difficult sometimes. Because, like, people like to tell me all the time, oh, there's my eyebrow. People like to tell me all the time, oh, you just hate people, you're a homophobe. No, I promise I'm not. I love people. But there's a lot of controversy. That's the nature of the beast, I guess. But, again, I wish people took the time to really study it before they judged it. That's a problem a lot of Muslims are experiencing right now, is people make all sorts of claims about Islam without knowing anything about Islam. I don't know much about Islam, so I'm not going to talk about Islam. I don't even know much about some Protestant faiths. I'm not going to talk about them because I don't know them. And to talk about what you don't know is really ignorant. I mean, I don't think we should be proud of our ignorance. I'm trying to learn what I can about other people so I can understand them better. I can talk to them. I can understand them. I'm better able to love them, meet them where they are, be their friend exactly as they are, accept them as they are because I understand them. If I don't understand someone, it's a lot harder to accept them. That's like with my boyfriend who's an atheist. I understand why he is. I know where he comes from. He doesn't always know where I come from being Catholic, and that's tough for me to explain, but that's its own issue. But, like, I understand why my best friend is an atheist. I don't agree with her, but I understand her, and that's crucial. We don't always have to agree with people, but we do have to understand them in order to get along. But with Catholic feminism, we're taught that men and women have equal dignity and equal rights. We're taught that people of all races are truly equals, and that when our society treats people as unequal, that's wrong. So, like, the fact that we've put certain groups of people into ghettos, someone corrected me. It turns out we did have ghettos for Jewish people in this country. I apologize. I was wrong. I thought it was black people and people of color, but there are Jewish people that were put into ghettos here too. We had a lot of anti-Semitism in this country. We still do in a lot of ways. We have to eradicate that. Be aware your every thought, and don't be afraid to be wrong. When you mess up, you apologize, you take responsibility for your actions, and you move on, and you don't make that mistake again. That's how you're a good ally to people of color. That's what they've taught me. That's what they told me when I said, how do I help? They said, listen to us, and they said, tell our stories the way they are. And they said, direct other people to us, we'll talk to them ourselves. And that's it. Like, you have to listen to the people that experience these things. I talk about Catholic things. That's what I know. Sorry, I'm dry throat, but this is what I live. It really bothers me when people judge me for it, or when they make assumptions like, you're only Catholic because your parents are Catholic. Well, yes, my parents are Catholic, but my sister doesn't practice Catholicism at all. She doesn't practice any religion right now. She may even be an atheist for all I know. She might be agnostic. I don't really know for sure because we're not close. It's really sad. But you know, the religion of your parents is not always going to be your religion. People convert in and out of faiths all the time. And even if people are only a group, like, belong to a faith group because of their parents, that doesn't mean it's any less legitimate. Doesn't mean they don't actually believe that. If that were true, then, you know, no one would be with their parents. You know, it just doesn't make sense. Fallacious arguments everywhere and on both sides. So, just get to know people. Talk to them. Know where they are, who they are, where they stand, why they are the way they are. Like, people are complex. People are so complex. And if you just assume, then you're going to miss out on a lot of that. Like, if I just assumed that my friend who was Muslim was a certain way, then we wouldn't have this beautiful friendship that we have. It really is a beautiful friendship. She's taught me a lot. So, be open-minded, but be who you are. Love you.